Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Good afternoon all of you. Good afternoon everyone. Please give me confirmation my audio and video is clear so that we can proceed with today's session. Hello everyone. Very good afternoon all of you. Good afternoon everyone. Please give me confirmation my audio and video is clear. All clear? Give me confirmation. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, guys. I suppose my audio and video is properly clear. Good afternoon. Clear? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. A very good afternoon and very warm welcome to another session. A very warm welcome and the fourth class of our Agri 360-degree series. So, what's here for today's session? So, today's topic is dry land agriculture and contingency cropping. Okay, so today's topic is dry land agriculture and contingency cropping. Dry land agriculture, simple, interesting topic and important at the same time. Specifically, when I talk about dry land agriculture, topics from like the general agriculture part of dry land agriculture, like related to institute, is very important. And when I talk about contingency cropping, this topic is very important, specifically being asked in exams like ASRB NET and JRF exam. But you know what? Previous year, in AFO 2025 exam, the question was asked from contingency cropping as well. It was definition based, yet it was a typical students, specifically for those who don't even know the basic about the contingency cropping. So in today's session, we will be covering these two important topics. And yes, contingency is a part of dry land agriculture only. So now, let's start today's session. And let's talk about the definition. Okay, what is the exact meaning of dry land agriculture? See, dry land agriculture simply means that when farming is done or when farming is classified according to the different rainfall patterns or the different rainfall amount is known as dry land agriculture. Okay, when we completely grow crops being dependent on the rainfall for its growth and development, such kind of agriculture is known as dry land agriculture. Further, dry land agriculture is divided into three kinds of farming: dry farming, dry land farming, and rain-fed farming. Now, these farming methods vary according to the amount of rainfall received per year. Okay, so this is known as your dry land agriculture. Growing of crops, extremely, just a second, let me change the ink. Growing of crops entirely under rain-fed condition is known as dry land agriculture. Based on the amount of rainfall received, dry land agriculture can be grouped into three categories. Okay, so on the basis of dry land agriculture, we have classified into three kinds of farming. That is your dry farming, dry land farming, and then we have the rain-fed farming. Okay, so basically these are the three kinds of farming under your dry land agriculture. Now, the very first we have dry farming. So farming in those areas where annual rainfall is less than 750 millimeter, okay, that is per year, annual basis. Such farming is known as dry farming. Okay, what is dry farming? Areas that receive rainfall less than 750 millimeter per year. Such in those areas, dry farming is done. What is dry land farming? When rainfall is between 750 to 1150 millimeter per year. Such kind of farming is known as dry land farming. What is rain-fed farming? When farming done in those areas where rainfall is more than 1150 millimeter per year. This is known as a rain-fed farming. The very basic and the most important thing that you have to learn in the dry land agriculture part. This is very important. The basic division criteria of the farming on the basis of rainfall. So learn it. Dry farming less than 750 millimeter per year. Dry land farming between 750 to 1150 and rain-fed farming more than 1150. Now, the same is written here. Now, see this. Dry farming less than 750. It was asked in OPSC ASCO exam 2024, then in NABARD exam as well. Next, dryland farming. Now, it was asked in NABARD 2023. Rainfed farming. It was asked in your exam BAO Agronomy 2024. So now see, this is how much it is important. Please read it once. Give 30 seconds and read. Now, this is important. Remember this and this. Now, see this. According to United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, now this body has distinguished dryland agriculture into only two categories. Okay. Now, this body says that dryland agriculture is divided only into two categories. That's dryland farming and rainfed farming. According to them, dry farming does not exist. So this is according to them. But we will be studying all three kinds of the farming systems according to the dryland agriculture. Now, let's differentiate and understand in a better way that what's the basic difference between the dry farming, dryland farming and your rainfed farming. So the very first, obviously, the criteria of the farming is the rainfall pattern that we have already discussed. Next is the moisture availability. Okay. Now see, if I talk about dry farming, definitely in dry farming, there is an acute shortage of the moisture. Okay. Definitely in dry farming, there is the actual shortage of the moisture, acute shortage. Dryland farming, shortage. Means if I compare it with dry farming, then comparatively the conditions are better. Okay, comparatively the conditions are better as compared to the dry farming. Then next we have the rainfed farming. Enough. We have enough moisture. Why? Because the rainfall is around more than 1150 millimeters. So definitely there is no chance of any kind of shortage. Growing region, dry farming. Dry farming, where rainfall is very less than 750 millimeter. So such regions are considered as arid regions. Such regions are considered as arid regions. Then dryland farming is considered under semi-arid, and then rainfed farming, since we have a good amount of rainfall, sufficient moisture is available. So here, humid and subhumid. Okay, under rainfed farming, we categorize as humid and subhumid. Growing duration. For the dry farming, it is less than 75 days. What is the meaning of growing duration? Growing duration means the number of days when moisture is available in the soil. Okay. What is the meaning of growing duration? The number of days when moisture is available in the soil for the optimum crop growth and production. So in case of dry farming, since the rainfall is quite less than 750 millimeter, so definitely we don't have a good number of days for the growing duration. We have only less than 75 days. Dry land farming, we have around 75 to 120 days, and in case of rainfed farming, where we don't have any kind of moisture shortage, we have sufficient amount of rainfall, so definitely there's a good duration, more than 120 days. Okay, so what is the growing duration for the rainfed farming? It's more than 120 days. Now, let's talk about the cropping system. In case of dry farming, monocropping. Okay, in case of dry farming, we can only go for monocropping. What is the meaning of monocropping? When you grow only one crop in a year, such kind of cropping is known as monocropping. Now, you all tell me, is it possible to cultivate 2 crops or 3 crops within 75 days? Give me answer. Is it possible to grow 2 crops, 3 crops within 75 days? Because only the maximum we have is the 75 days where the moisture is available. Is it practically possible? Tell me. Come on. Tell me, everyone. Is it practically possible? No, na. It's not possible at all. It's not possible. Okay. to grow basically 2 crops or 3 crops. So definitely in case of dry farming, we only practice monocropping. For the dry land farming, it's mono or mixed. We can go for both. Definitely we can grow for mixed monocropping and mixed cropping as well. Mixed intercropping, LA cropping, relay cropping, these kinds of cropping systems are not suitable. But yes, we can definitely go for the mixed cropping. Now I suppose you definitely don't know the meaning of monocropping, the meaning of mixed cropping. Now why? Because I've already told you in the very first session of the cropping system. So if in case you have not seen that lecture, it's your responsibility to go and watch that class as well. Then in case of rainfed farming, since there is no any kind of restriction with the number of days or the moisture, definitely any kind of method can be opted, and definitely multiple cropping is a very optimum option for rainfed farmings. When I talk about multiple cropping, it includes the sequential one as well. It includes the ratooning too. LA cropping, relay cropping, synergetic cropping, each and every different kind of multiple cropping can be done under rainfed farming. Okay. Now, next we have is the frequency of crop failure. In case of dry farming, definitely very frequent. Why? Because the basically the moisture doesn't retains for a good number of days. Rainfall is also less than 750 millimeter. So definitely there is a frequently chances of the crop failure. Then dry land farming, less frequent as compared to the dry farming, definitely less frequent chances. For the rainfed farming, rarely failure of crop because of lack of moisture. Why? Because we have enough moisture available in the rainfed farming. Then the dry spell, for dry farming, very common. In case of dry land farming, moderate, and in case of rainfed farming, no occurrence. Why? Sufficient rainfall is available. Constraints. What is the meaning of constraints? Problems or the issues. Okay. In case of dry farming, wind erosion. Okay, in case of dry farming, definitely wind erosion. Why? Because since moisture is not sufficiently available, so the soil is generally not that wet, leading to the wind erosion. Apart from that, dry land, both the chances, dry land is wind erosion and the water erosion as well. In case of rainfed farming, water erosion is like highly it can occur. Why? Because of good amount of rainfall. So if we are not getting or taking any precautionary measure for controlling the water erosion, definitely it can happen. Then last, measures needed to improve the productivity. What are the methods that we need to adapt for like saving our soils or increasing the productivity as well? Definitely for dry farming, moisture conservation practices are very necessary. Moisture conservation practices means go for mulching, go for catch crop cultivation, and intercropping should be promoted. Different mulching techniques must be adopted. Now, overall, the purpose is to conserve the moisture. You should go for such irrigation methods which have a very good efficiency. Water saving methods like drip irrigation, pitcher pot irrigation, such methods must be opted. Then for the dry land farming, definitely we need moisture conservation as well as a good drainage too. Okay, good drainage is also required for dry land farming, and rainfed farming, definitely we need a good drainage method so that too much of water is not present in the soil, as excess of water can also cause, or basically definitely it is harmful for our crops as well. Now, problems. What are the problems associated specifically when I talk about dry farming? The very first is the erratic, uncertain and uneven distribution of the rainfall. What is the meaning of erratic? Erratic means irregular. Sometimes it is raining, sometimes it is not raining. Sometimes it is optimum and sometimes it is too scarce. So such kind of irregularity, uncertainty is very common with the rainfall in case of your dry farming. Because of that, you have very limited choice of crop. Okay, you can't go for any crop. Why? Because since rainfall is not up to the mark, definitely we can't grow for such crops in which we have to provide the good irrigation. In case of dry farming, farmers can only go for crops like millets, crop like oilseed crops, because their specifically pulses, I can say. Why? Because their water requirement is quite less. Now, the crops like cotton, or basically forget about the paddy. Why? Because paddy can be taken only under rainfed farming, not in the dry farming or the dryland farming criteria. Okay. Then the prolonged dry spell during the crop period. Yes, there are many not basically in a good doesn't mean a good, means a quite large number of days are there when the water is not available. Dry spells occur. Low moisture, definitely. If we don't have any even pattern of the rainfall, we don't have moisture available at all the times, then definitely the moisture level will be very low. Since moisture is not available, how come fertility will be to the mark? Definitely such kind of soils that are present in the dry farming areas have very low, very poor fertility. Why? Because for increasing the fertility of the soil, for like if I'm giving manure, okay, if I'm giving manure to the soil to increase its fertility, then definitely soil needs moisture as well, so that manures can work. If moisture is not available, how is it possible to enhance the fertility of the soil? So definitely low fertility, low crop productivity. Moisture is not there, fertility is not there. So how crop production will take place at the optimum level? Definitely crop productivity is quite low. And then poor economic condition. Yes, if I talk about the financial conditions of the farmer, very poor. Why? Because if they're not able to grow their crop successfully, then how can their basically economical conditions will be good now? So definitely farmers of such areas where dry farming is generally being practiced, the condition is very poor economical conditions. Now, some of the very important one-liners that are related to your dryland agriculture, very important. And see, Vasant Rao Naik Award is given by ICAR for research application in dryland agriculture. It was asked in AFO 2016. First scientific approach to tackle the problems of dryland farming was initiated by Tamhane in 1923 on a small plot at Manjari near Pune. Then, research station established at Bijapur and Sholapur in 1933. It was asked in NET exam 2025. Research station was established at Agri and Raichur in 1934. Monograph on dry farming in India is given by Kantkar in 1944. Next, we have Central Arid Zone Research Institute KAZRI, located at Jodhpur, Rajasthan. It was established in 1959. Then Central Research Institute for Dryland Agriculture, CRIDA, Hyderabad, established in 1985. It was asked in exam of MP, Madhya Pradesh exam and JRF Agronomy exam as well. ICRISAT, the only international research institute that India has. International Crop Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics, Hyderabad, established in 1972. It was asked in JRF Agronomy 2022. Then, International Center for Agriculture Research in Dry Areas, ICARDA. It was established in 1977 at Aleppo, Syria. But in present, it is located in Beirut, Lebanon. What happened? Initially, it was located in Syria. After Saran conflicts in around year 2012, it was relocated to Beirut, Lebanon. So in present, it is at Beirut, Lebanon. It was asked in BAO Agronomy 2024 exam. Now, Central Soil Conservation Board, establishment year 1953. All India Coordinated Research Project on Dryland Agriculture was started in the year 1970. JRF Agronomy 2025. Okay. Now, let's talk about contingency cropping. Contingency cropping is like plan B. What is the meaning of plan B? Many times in our life, plan A is not successful. What we were aiming, what we were planning, it's not necessary that always our plan A is successful. And definitely, we all should have plan B in our life. That means if plan A is not successful, then definitely we can switch to plan B and make the best use of the thing or the present situation that we have. Similarly, in case of aberrant weather conditions, harsh weather conditions, when the farmer is not able to grow his main crop, his first crop, his preference, the plan A, what I call it personally, plan A, then what a farmer can do? Either he can just sit in depression, cry, or take any wrong step. Or the second plan B, is to move ahead and go for a second alternative crop that could be grown according to the climatic condition, according to the rainfall, or according to the present scenario. So tell me, which one is better? Just to sit being disappointed, or to switch to plan B to make the best use of whatsoever situation we have? Plan B, na? Definitely to go for plan B. We should never give up. So when a farmer grows second alternative crop, in case of the first crop, it could be failure of the first crop. What could be the reason? The failure of the first crop, or the growing duration is not left that much that I can prefer my first crop, or aberrant weather condition, any such scenario where my first crop is failing. Then when I'm switching to a second crop now, or the management practices that I am opting for a successful crop production is known as your contingency cropping, the plan B. Contingency cropping is growing of a suitable crop in place of a normally sown, highly profitable crop of the region due to aberrant weather condition. It was asked in AFO 2025 exam, and apart from that, it was asked in ASRB NET 2025 exam too. Okay, this is known as the contingency cropping. Now, crops have to be selected with suitable crop duration to coincide with the length of the growing season. Definitely. Now, the second crop that you will be opting should match with the growing duration left. You have to not do that your plan B is such crop whose growing duration is more than your first crop. No, don't go for a wrong plan B. Your plan B should be definitely correct. So, choose the crop wisely. The second crop, contingent crop, should be chosen wisely, that it could match the growing duration. Okay. Then, generally, the short duration pulses like green gram, black gram, and cowpea may suit the situation. Definitely, we opt for the short duration pulses that can match with the growing season, and it will give a good result. And we know now that pulses, they don't need a good amount of water. No. And they are short duration as well, and nitrogen fixation too, increasing or enhancing the fertility of the soil. The longer duration crop with flexibility or elasticity in yield are more suitable. For example, pearl millet and sorghum can be ratoon if monsoon exceeds. That means if you wish to take any long duration crop, then definitely go for such kind of long duration crop which has flexibility, means which can be used for more than one purpose. Like sorghum, I can use it for ratooning purpose now. Pearl millet, definitely we can use it for ratooning purpose. So yes, you can go for such kind of long duration crop. Sunflower. Sunflower can be introduced for higher profits with certain amount of risk. Yes, you can grow sunflower as your plan B, but definitely it will have risk. But yes, if you take that risk and if it is successful, definitely you will get better returns, better money. Okay. Now, see, effect of rainfall or aberrations on the crop. What happens if there is a delay in the onset of rainfall? If there is a delay in the onset of the rainfall, then length of the cropping season is reduced, crop duration is basically reduced, or sowing is delayed. Okay, or the sowing is delayed. So these are the aberrant effect of the aberrant rainfall pattern when there is a delay in the onset. Early withdrawal or cessation of the rainfall. If the rainfall stops earlier than its normal time, okay, if the rainfall stops earlier than its normal time, that is known as a withdrawal or cessation of the rainfall. Then moisture stress at maturity, grain filling is affected, which is also known as terminal stress. Then intermediate dry spells. Intermediate dry spells means what happens if immediately there is a dry spell after sowing, then germination will be affected and plant population will be definitely reduced. If at vegetative phase the crop is suffering from a dry spell, then definitely it will trigger or it will target the vegetative phase. Means what happens in vegetative phase? Stem elongation, node internode formation, tiller formation, true. So all these things will be negatively impacted. At flowering, affects the anthesis and pollination, grain pod number is also reduced. Means overall at the flowering stage, if dry spells come, it will be obstructing the reproductive phase of the plant. And at the time of ripening, then definitely it will negatively impact the grain filling, the grain size will be reduced now. So overall it will reduce the yield of the crop. Now, so what we have, contingency crop plan for different abnormalities, the abnormalities that we have already discussed here. So the very first we have the delayed onset of the rainfall. Okay, in case of the delayed onset of the rainfall, if the delay exceeds 4 weeks, then alternate crop of the short duration is to be sown. Alternate crop. Okay, now here you have to change the crop. Definitely you have to grow any other short duration crop if the rainfall delay exceeds more than 4 weeks. See, in the southwest monsoon, normal month is June now. If the delay is by 1 month and rainfall occurs in the month of July, then you should grow groundnut, ragi, pearl millet. Okay, means groundnut, finger millet or pearl millet must be grown. If the delay is by 2 months, August, then go for the little millet or cowpea. In case of northeast monsoon, the normal time is the month of October. If delay is by early November, go for cotton, sorghum, sunflower, pearl millet and finger millet. If the delay is by late November, then coriander and chickpea. If the delay is just by 1 to 2 weeks, okay, if the delay is by 1 to 2 weeks, another criteria, then don't change the crop. Just go for a short duration variety. If the delay is by 1 to 2 weeks, then no need to change the crop. Just simply go for a short duration of the same crop. Example, sorghum varieties, Coimbatore 19, 150 days, CO 25, red gram local. Okay, so this is the option in case if the delay in the onset of the rainfall by 1 to 2 weeks. Now, next we have early withdrawal of the rainfall. Means if the rainfall stops earlier before its normal time, then you should go for anti-transparent. What is the meaning of anti-transparent? Anti-transparents are those substances that reduce the rate of transpiration from the stomata of the plant present in the leaf surface. Okay, that is known as your anti-transparent. So definitely spray anti-transparent. Harvest it for the fodder purpose. In case of millets, if you are growing millets, then definitely you should harvest it for the grain purpose. If you are growing it for the grain purpose and all of a sudden grain is not developed, why? Because of the sudden rainfall aberration, then harvest it for the fodder purpose. Okay, then harvest it for the fodder purpose rather than wasting your crop by taking a reduced yield. Harvesting at physiological maturity. Intermediary dry spells. If immediately after sowing, then you can go for the gap filling. Okay, gap filling with the subsequent rainfall if the reduction of the plant population is less than 20%. Okay, if the plant population is reduced by less than 10%, then you can go for the gap filling. And if the reduction in the plant population is more than 20%, then resowing is the option. Okay, then you have to go for the resowing. Apart from that, go for mulching between the crop rows, go for the soil mulch, okay, which is also known as the dust mulch, to overall reduce the rate of evaporation. Then at vegetative phase, basically mulching, again you have to do mulching. Go for anti-transparent, bring potassium chloride and thinning of the 33 to 50% of the population. Now, reason behind thinning is to maintain the optimum population that can survive in the dry spell condition or that can be irrigated with the whatsoever water is present. Then at the flowering stage, again anti-transparent has to be sprayed, harvest it for the fodder purpose or leave it for the tuning in case of millets. At the time of ripening, again anti-transparent has to be sprayed, harvested for the fodder purpose or harvest at the physiological maturity. Okay, so that's the contingent plan for different aberrant conditions. Okay, now let's practice some of the PYQs that are again related to your dryland agriculture and contingency cropping. Okay, now I need answer from each and every one. The very first question, give answer for this. Come on. What will be the answer, guys? Okay. Option number A, contingency cropping. Okay, correct answer is option number A. Good. Next question, JRF Agronomy 2025. What will be the answer? Okay, good. It's option number A, 1970. Next question, BAO Agronomy 2024. International Center for Agriculture Research in the dry areas was initially situated at, tell me, what will be the answer? Everyone. Okay, good. Option number D, Syria. Now, NABARD 2021. Give answer for this. Okay. It's option number C. The question is asking for dry farming. Na? So in case of dry farming, the rainfall is less than 750 millimeter. So option number C is correct. Next, AFO 2016. What will be the correct answer? Give answer for this. Okay, good. Option number A, dryland agriculture. Very good. Next question. Tell me, where is CRIDA located? Okay, good. It's option number A, Hyderabad. Very good. Next, ICRISAT. Now give answer for this ICRISAT. What will be the answer? Okay. Option number B, 1972. Good. Now give answer for this. Everyone. Okay. Good. Option number A, dry land farming. Here the correct answer will be dry land farming. NABARD 2023 question. Next. And along with it, I'm sharing the PDF as well. Okay. PDF of the session. So you can download it. Okay. Good. Here the answer will be option number A, dry farming. Good. Next, rainfed farming is cultivation of crop where annual rainfall is. Again, BAO Agronomy 2024. What will be the answer? Tell me. Definitely. Option number C, that is more than 1150 millimeter. Good. Okay. Thank you so much. Here we wrap up today's session. I suppose it was a nice session and you are basically getting to know something more new. Now, what's your duty? Your duty is to share this with your friends, give it a like, subscribe a new channel. Apart from that, comment down the topic that you want me to cover and to give priority in these 360-degree series, okay? So comment down your answers, basically that what topics you want that I should give priority, huh? It's your homework. Comment down all the topics that you want, okay? And download this PDF as well. Wrapping up today's session, we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. Bye everyone, take care. Ending the session. Bye all of you. Welcome. Bye everyone.